famous historical battles that would have ended differently had the other team unlocked Malik first. What do you think?
Oh, man. You know, if we just had Malik for everything, man, imagine how this world would turn out, man. Look, there wouldn't be no free America.
He's waiting on the shore. Oh, God. But this is not historical, Red Wedding, but still.
What? Red Wedding's not historical? Are you kidding me? Oh, God.
All right. Well, we have a ton of things to talk about. We're going to basically recap everything that we happened this week. We're going to talk about the winners and losers of Gear 13 and the Gear 12 finishers, the protection buffs. We're going to talk about the new Kyrotech and the controversy. We're talking about the Grievous rework. We're going to talk about the Grand Arena Championship and the matchmaking that we've been having so far, but we're going to start off right here. Talk about Grand Arena. Now, what division did you get placed into?
I got placed into Division 2. I'm just under the 4.49 million GP.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I Division 2, but the funny thing is, even though you're Division 1, like our GPs are close, you're just over Division 1, I'm just under, we still have to place the same amount of defensive and offensive teams. Right. You got to do 8, I got to do 8 for both offense and defense. So it's interesting how they're doing this. And you said your opinion changed after you learned that fact from me.
Yeah, well, what I was afraid of is that I got put into the Division 1 and that I was going to be paired up against, the 5.5 million whales. And I'm not. I'm paired up with a guy that has an account that looks just like me. And we're going to talk about the matchmaking. I think it's actually fairly good. I'm happy with it so far. It looks like I'm paired up a guy that went broad, which they said they were going to do. And the other thing is that I was annoyed at first that I was going to have to do 8 on offense, 8 on defense, and then you're doing the same thing. So it's like, okay, being in, and the boxes are better in Division 1, and it's based off of the highest GP that I've ever had, which was like 4.7. So now there's no stripping mods or anything like that. I'm just going to have to mod my entire roster, which I wanted to do. That was my main problem. I just want to mod my whole roster, so I don't have to worry about it.
You don't want to rip mods off. It's a pain in the butt to do that. Then it costs money to put them. It's annoying to do all this stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to wait for the next round and find out what territory battles. And the main thing we're going to talk about in this video towards the end is, like, what are we doing to get ready for territory battles? And we're going to talk about that also. So I'm okay with this matchmaking. And they talked about matchmaking in this post right here where they said that they're going to slightly reduce the weighting of pure GP. And then they're going to have other variables. So that looks like, so far with my matchmaking, looks like it's the guy went broad like I did. I'm very happy with my matchmaking.
We'll see where it goes going forward because, this is your very first matchmaking thing. Who knows? You maybe just got lucky, and because sometimes, you'll get paired up with someone that's really bad and then you look really good. And then also the other thing we don't know is how does it look like as you progress up to the higher tiers? Like what happens if, like once you go to Kyber, will you start facing those 5.5 million plus GP accounts?
I don't think we're getting to Kyber, by the way. I think that's going to be we'll see. I want to get to Kyber, but I just think that it's going to be, the huge mega whales that are going to be in Kyber. I don't know. We'll see, right?
I do like that they created separate divisions because originally my perception was there was just going to be this one big giant like leaderboard, and then obviously the bigger spending people are going to outdo the people, the little guys. But luckily they kind of had all these little divisions, even for those of like only like 100,000 GP. So you have your own Kyber. So there's 11 different Kyber ranks basically.
Right. And I just think that you're going to probably be in this Division 1 here any minute
pretty
now.
Soon, yeah. I'm not purposely deflating my GP. It just happened to be that I just fell right under. So probably the next couple things I gear up, I'll probably get over that threshold finally.
Yeah, that capital ship is a lot of GP. That might push you to the top right there. So we're going to go and talk about the new capital ship.
Yes.
You were messaged on Twitter. You made a comment about the Negotiator we announced
the
next
Barn
week.
Sty Fighter, yeah.
Yeah, and then in case you haven't seen it yet, it looks like the Negotiator will be... basically, this is going to be like the way Wampa and Herbert Yoda was released for the territory battles, right? And it's a 5-star unlock.
It seems like that. They said they are planning on releasing more characters for the territory battles as well. So maybe this beta, if we assume this is a beta, there's no new characters yet added to it. And it's also hard to tell. Malik's in the guild event store, but you need to complete his event before you can even start farming him. But seeing the Negotiator in here and it's saying 0 out of 145 makes me think that you're gonna have to farm this kind of like a Wampa or Hermit Yoda, which I think it's a little. I don't know. I feel like it's a little anticlimactic.
I didn't think about the Malik. You're saying that it could be a legendary unlock event. event or a special event, and then you can get him.
But the only reason, I mean, unless they change it, because you couldn't see Malik in the store until you did the event. Like before, you don't see him at all. Maybe they're changing it where you could see it. It'll just have a lock icon. Then once you complete the event, maybe it unlocks. Who knows? It's either it's going to be a Wampa style character or it's going to be a Malik style character. I think, and I'm hoping it's more of a Malik style character because I think just doing it, the Negotiator being a Wampa seems a bit anticlimactic. But maybe that's a good thing that they don't have to do a big event for every single capital ship. Because if we want more capital ships to make ships more fun, you can't just do a slow drip on this stuff. You got to find more ways to release new ship content. So maybe this might be a good thing potentially.
Right. Let's talk about the big winners and losers in Gear 13. So we're going to talk about two separate things. The first thing is that massive amount of protection buffs were issued out, and I know you did a video on Maul getting a monster. You basically doubled the amount of protection he had, right?
Yeah, he got the biggest bump at the Gear 12 for the Gear 12 protection. Yeah, so he got 145% increase or something crazy like that. Yeah.
So there's two rebalancings that are happening currently. One was that about 80-90 characters got a protection buff, and then by going
93.
by going to 13 and the finishers, each character has a unique finisher, right?
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of data is being compiled right now, and I really like this question right here because we want to know the answer too, and we're working on it. Can I get a too long didn't read on the 5 characters that benefit the most and the least? There is no answer to this question currently.
There's not an answer. No, there's not an answer.
But I said this in my last video. Grievous looks monster huge, and they didn't do much for Grandmaster Yoda. So it's like Grandmaster Yoda got nerfed, and Grievous got boosted. What are your thoughts about that? Because this is the raw stat increase right here for Grievous versus the raw stat increase for Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda got shafted on his
finisher.
Didn't
even get a protection bump for being a legacy character, so he didn't even get any of that type of love. What I'm thinking is, we can't tell. Numbers say one thing, but obviously you have to see how it actually works in application. We don't have Gear 13 access on our test accounts. I don't know if we'll ever get access, and that's really what you got to do is just spend a lot of time testing and seeing how things are going to pan out. But I think if you made a top 10 list, the guaranteed one is going to be Grievous somewhere in there. Besides him getting a rework, already having massive health, he's getting massive health through Gear 13. Plus, he got a second rework again, which makes his team even better. And there's new separatists coming in and stuff. So I think Grievous is actually one of the, I'm not sure if he's number one, the best one, but I think he's definitely in that top 5, top 10 list without a doubt, just with the preliminary numbers that we're seeing.
Well, I mean, just the rework. Plus the stat
just the rework alone,
So right now we're just gonna say we have the number one benefitter of this whole everything right now is Grievous. I'm confident saying that right now.
And plus he got a protection bump too as well because he's a legacy character. So he got improved in so many ways with all these past few updates we've gotten.
Yeah, so Grievous is the big winner, and it looks like Grandmaster Yoda is the big loser. Everything else in the middle looks like, I don't know
if just because Yoda got the least bump, I don't know if he's a loser in general. He just didn't get much of a benefit with this upgrade. That's what we're kind of saying. He's still going to be a good character, I think.
Yeah, but a 42% boost to Jedi Consular is not going to change anything for anybody.
Exactly,
And so if we're talking about relevant characters, this is a big deal.
That's a big deal.
And then, look at these characters down here at the bottom of the list. Padme, Darth Nihilus, Droideka, Chewbacca, Grandmaster. Those are already, top 30 characters in the game. Maybe higher, right?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, the Droideka one. I don't know. I haven't. I glanced at it, but I didn't fully dive into it to really understand the numbers of what's going on. But just looking at Droideka's stats, he looked like he got a huge amount of offensive upgrades to him. Not much in speed and stuff like that. But maybe relative to everyone else, it wasn't as significant. But I think the upgrades that Droideka got, even if it's only a 16% increase, it makes him one of the hardest hitting characters in the game when you consider how his kit operates. So again, numbers don't tell the full story. That's what we're trying to say. But we have a general idea of what's going to come out already.
Okay, so before we talk about Kyrotech gear pieces and what we're doing personally to prepare for territory battles, let's talk about the Grievous rework. That we were saying that hashtag rework, the reworked Grievous 2019. I mean, that was kind of like a thing.
Oh god.
All right, so yeah, it's a lot better. There was 3 big things that happened. I mean, the biggest one is that Magna Guard is actually useful now. My goodness, because remember, there's the whole idea with R2 and Droideka, right? Now, this kind of is like a stealth, giving stealth to everybody on the team but one person like R2-D2 does is a big deal. It forces him a tank. It's like a pre-taunting tank now. Plus, you've got middle ability on Grievous now going through Foresight. And then what was the third thing? There was a third thing.
The target lock synergy in Grievous' leadership, because his leadership had nothing really much to do with target lock.
CLS was like a big problem for this team, and now
Or even battle meditation was a big problem, because you get Jolie counterattacking all the time or something, reducing his cooldown. That's like, this is a waste of time. Now, I mean, target lock's not the easiest thing to get out there still. But it's still good. Like, Grievous is the main target lock spreader on the team with his AoE ability. So the team got so much better. This is what originally should have been put out. We have our theories as to why they didn't want to release this version of the rework. I mean, the only complaint I still have is the whole plague thing with B1 battle droid and stuff like that. I think that's a little crummy that they didn't fix that, but at least the team overall is so much better.
Well, and, it's definitely a forced meta situation, in my opinion. You know, it's like when Grievous came out, boy, we were pissed off, and I wonder if they just like drew a line in the sand and said, we're going to stick to our guns even if we're wrong, or something like that. I mean, I don't know what happened, but it just seemed like a battle of wills or egos at that point. And I don't buy that it was the Gear 13 thing at all. I don't buy it at all. That was.
I think it's not that hard to connect the points. Look, they explicitly pushed down Palpatine when Malik came out. They're not afraid of just making forced metas. That's what the game has been since kind of Traya, is that they want the meta to be a certain thing. There hasn't been much diversity. Like right now, the meta is I think at like 97% Revens. That's all it is right now. It's all forced. And
we're getting
if you had Grievous come out,
a blip of Padme, but that's it. It's two Revens still. Yeah, we're getting two Revens.
It's.
Okay, let's talk
so
about.
It's definitely a force thing.
Let's talk about Kyrotech and your thoughts on that. You actually, it doesn't bother you as much as it bothered me, I suppose. Or what are your thoughts about Kyrotech?
Here's the thing. I mean, it sucks. I mean, I don't like gear. I don't like new gear walls, and I don't like new mod walls. Those are the two things I absolutely dread. But the fact of the matter is, this isn't really like a situation we've never experienced before. Raid gear comes out. You can't stockpile Mark V droid cars when they first came out for the Rancor raid. Then AAT raid came out. New gear came with that. I mean, this isn't something new. So I'm kind of used to it at this point.
So one of the biggest comments that I see reoccurring in the comment section is not so much that the Kyrotech. Or Kyrotech. I like calling it Cryotech.
Cryotech's more fun.
Yeah, Cryotech is more fun. Is that it was it's a wall at Gear 8 and Gear 7.
That's the problem I have.
Yeah, I mean if it was only
having
in the
Gear
finishers,
11 maybe.
Yeah,
and plus the finishers. That's the main problem. And then I think they're starting to include like other big pieces of gear. Like I think Mark 6 droid collars and stuff are needed for some Gear 12 finisher pieces and stuff like that. It's tough, but here's the thing. I mean, we got to understand that we don't. The Cryotech, besides the thing that is crappy is that it's set at a very low gear, like Gear 7, Gear 8 sometimes. But the thing about it at the higher gears is I don't really care that much because I see it like a new thing of raid gear, which is supposed to slowly gate people from entering the new big power threshold. Because do you really want people overnight just getting Gear 13 right away? No, I'd rather it be a slow incremental upgrade.
So this game has been very consistent is that there's a pressure... a point of scarcity, right? And then then to relieve the scarcity, either through time or just grinding through stuff, they do introduce a way for people to purchase it. And when all of those people have stopped purchasing it, they seem to release the floodgates on it. Like think about like credits way back in the day. Remember how like we were starved for credits and we were like,
I still am starved, but that's a whole different reason. But
but then they one day just like
credit heist.
Yeah, credit heist, and then they just like, okay, I'm guessing that it's just a pattern, right? And I don't think it's bad. It's just that when things are, scarce, then at some point people purchase, and when the people are done purchasing, then they kind of release the floodgates. So it's just a matter of patience. I'm not thrilled with the idea. My problem with the Cryotech, I don't care what it's called anymore. Is that it's just like, my goodness, those Gear 12 Plus pieces right now, or the Gear 12 finishers are like $70. My goodness. I mean, how many am I going to need? I usually will focus on my arena team. Like I can personally justify doing that to my arena team, but boy, doing that to 16 grand arena teams doesn't seem very much fun. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not a fun process. I mean, just gear walls in general are not fun. And of course, we all want no gear walls. Everything we want But if we got everything we want, the game wouldn't make money. You know, getting characters easily, gear walls and stuff like that. It's how the game is. To try to get myself over this a bit easier is just I'm trying to imagine it's a new raid. It's a new raid gear that we're getting, and it's only going to be slowly dripped through the various game modes that we're going to be getting in the near future. It's in the shipments. You can farm some of the stuff out of the new shipments, the championship shipment, and it looks like from that leaked screenshot, the guild event store with the new stuff from Genos' territory battle. So there will be ways to farm it, but it will be a very long and painful process to do so. I don't. Gear walls suck, but we've made it through gear walls to getting to gear 11, then gear 12, then gear 12 plus, and gear 13. It's nothing new. That's what I'm trying to say, but I don't like it.
The true scarcity pain point in this game is gear. It is straight up gear. Like, I mean, how much do you think it costs to take a character all the way up right now?
There's a lot of factors depending on how much stuff you have hoarded. Because I will say, remember that when they talked about they're trying to diversify the gear, they weren't technically wrong. It's just it went a different way than what people wanted. But I gotta say, like I geared up Shock T recently, and I don't think it wasn't that hard to gear her up. I just had to buy the Kyrotech, and it was relatively easy because it wasn't too. I don't think it was too Carbante or stun gun heavy. I can't remember the exact gear requirements.
No, but basically the lower marquee packs were offset by the gear, right? I mean, that's what I'm hearing is that the cost to take a character up all the way is probably about the same, and everybody's got this different idea on how much it costs to gear per character, but I
think it's probably $50 to $100, and if you got a lot of stuff hoarded, maybe it's easier, but because if you're buying a new character, you're pretty much mandated to get the Kyrotech unless you want to wait a month to farm it all, and so I think I would have to estimate probably easily $50, because if you get 100 pieces of Kyrotech, that's about $40 right there. And then, it's easily $50 to $100, and maybe in the rare occasion might go over that if I had to give a guess.
I think it's a little higher than $100, but depends on where you are with resources.
I think it all depends on what you have with the resources. If you have no Carbantes and stun guns, you're going to pay more money.
Gold eyeballs are really
that too.
My goodness, man, that was inside of the heroic AAT, and they got rid of it, which is terrible. Anyways,
some simple things, man. Simple things that
are you
I don't
ready?
ask for too much. Make your money. I make your money, but give us some other ways to get this gear, man. Update the Mace Windu challenge. Give us some stun guns. Come on.
So, last question, the big question that everybody's asking: what are you doing personally to get ready for Genos' territory battles?
I mean, they've been kind of dropping hints at us ever since their Star Wars Celebration interview they did with the Galactic War Report. They've been saying the Geonosians are going to be very important, and the Grievous' droids are going to be important. So I basically, for the past couple months, I've made it a priority to make sure my Separatists are ready, because I want to make sure I can help my guild move through this new event, because it seems like it's going to have so many big rewards attached that you can't ignore it. So I have my Geonosians ready. I got my Grievous team perfected, basically. I think that's really the most important stuff, is to make sure you master this new content for this dark side territory battles. If you're trying to really prepare in advance, probably preparing your Galactic Republic clones and whatnot is going to be important for the future light side version.
So I've done two things. One, I've moved to a larger guild.
Yeah.
Okay, and I just want to remind everybody that when the Sith raid came out, when the heroic AAT raid, when territory battle, whenever like new large pieces of content, there's a lot of people just seem to quit because they don't want to learn how to do it. This happens every time. There's a lot of changes with guilds and guilds realigning to optimize to beat the new content. So what am I doing to prepare? I moved up to a bigger guild, and just that's what I did. And then I'm working exclusively on Grievous. I have been ignoring the Genosians because I hate them.
I convinced myself, because I'm like, all right, I need another couple ships. Boom, I got the Genosian ships. That's the one good thing. But it seems like from what the kit looks like, as well as all the other teasers we've gotten, it seems like it'll be like a boss style Grand Arena team. And as we were saying earlier, you need a lot of teams for Grand Arena. So I'm not sure how many Zetas are going to be needed in total with all the Genosian reworks coming out in the future. But it seems like it'll be worth it. I think if you want to.
Especially what's a Genosian spot? No, Genosian. What's the one that makes like 9,000 Carbantes? I mean, it's just like ridiculous.
Oh, man. Sunfac, maybe?
Sunfac,
I don't know.
Sunfac, my goodness. The tanks
it's a good ship, though. It's got a good ship, though. And who knows if, kind of like how we're seeing Kenobi be released with the Negotiator for dark side territory battles, I have a feeling we're going to get probably a Grievous capital ship with the release of light side territory battles. So Separatist ships. Genosians, yeah, they're not a fun faction, but they're gonna get better, and they're probably gonna be important for future ship content, and especially this territory battles. I don't think there's you might be forced to gear them up to an extent, I think.
All right. Well, now,
all right.
You know what time it is?
Time for the giveaway.
Time for the giveaway. I actually don't remember what the giveaway is, and I don't want to click on the tab, but I think I know what it is. I can't remember exactly. How are we? Okay, let's do it. I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. That's right.
What are we getting? What are we getting?
For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star whale.
That was supposed to be our meme we're going to show at the beginning.
Okay, so it says, who says that capital gains isn't alcohol? They're saving the whales. I gave him an EP nerf, but he's still not swimming. Get me 110 cc's of JK nerf stat. Exclusive footage of CG trying to save the whales. Yes, they are a charitable organization.
That's your 8-star giveaway.
Yeah, so they're 8-star resuscitation whale of some kind, right?
Oh gosh, don't you love forced metas, man? You gotta make sure the whales keep floating. Gotta make sure they keep floating.
Poor Shabu.
Oh, you forgot your disclaimer. This is not a scam. There you go.
This is a scam.
You gotta make sure you cover your butt legally, man. You don't want people coming at you.
This is a scam.
This is a scam. There we go.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.
Ba, 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 ba.